Last episode ended with the party delving into another dimension in order to stop the army that was invading their world. The Eldrite Dimension was an endless, craggy landscape, covered in a thick layer of storm fogs that were continually striking dark purple lightning down into the ground. In the distance, there were massive factories as far as the eye could see, creating a near-endless stream of new soldiers for Alinar to invade with. Nearby, on the edge of a cliffside, was a large stone manor house that was incredibly familiar to the party. It was the exact same as Alinar's old mansion from Arkayes. The party made their way through the manor and soon entered the throne room, where they found Alinar in the middle of a ritual that was about to be completed. Because the party had spent an extra hour to track down the dragon last episode, they were almost too late. Oh no, another band of adventurers, whatever shall I do? Actually, I don't have time for this, just kill them. Alinar had just teleported in 3 familiar faces. One was an Eldrite version of Edith, because back in episode 12 he'd stolen her soul, and now she was being brought back to serve as one of his guards. The second person he summoned was an Eldrite version of the Boggart Spellseer that the party had faced off against so many times in the past, because they'd died during the invasion of Amberwood back in episode 21, and had been converted to serve Alinar. And as for the last soldier that Alinar had spawned, I was doing the whole old player character returns thing again, because a few campaigns ago, one of my players had been a character named Thok the Scrumdiddlyumptious, a half-orc chef. I'll probably do an entire video about him someday, so I'll just cover the important part right now. In the course of that campaign, Thok had ended up teleporting to the far reaches of the world, where he'd been killed by a shadowy figure known only as the Shade. However, there's one other thing I should probably mention right now. So last episode, Merlos's letter had said that the Shade was one of Alinar's generals. That was wrong. In fact, not only was that wrong, but it was the other way around. Alinar was a mere pawn for this cosmic entity that was playing a grander game than Alinar could even conceive of. In fact, the ritual that Alinar had spent the last hour working on was to summon the Shade itself.
I don't know where all this information came from, but we've got to stop that ritual now.
Barashk Plunk, you focus down the chef and the Spellseer. Circle, you try to get past them to stop Alinar. I'll deal with Edith. The party split up and the fight began. Edith, please, you don't have to do this. You can fight it. You can fight him. That's funny. Would you like to see the squirrel method's real power?
Jay, your friend is gone. You have to kill her.
The fight continued and the party was rolling bad. Like, I'm genuinely not sure if I've seen so many natural ones before during a single combat in my entire career as a game master. Almost every single round went something like this.
I used a power attack against Thok. I guess that I don't do that then.
Hey, don't worry. I'll kill the Spellseer on my turn. I cast Lightning Bolt. Oh, come on! This is getting ridiculous!
Now imagine that happening over and over and over again. However, luckily none of the players ever got 3 natural ones in a row, because at my tables we have a homebrew rule where if you ever roll 3 nat 1s in a row, you instantly die. However, if you ever roll 3 nat 20s in a row, something really cool happens. I've had this rule for like 4 or 5 years now, and it's only ever happened a single time, but that's getting off topic. Anyway, after a few more turns of the party failing to get past their foes, Alinar finished the ritual. Petulant mortals, don't you see that what you're doing is pointless? I've already won. If you just roll over and die, then this will be easier for both of us.
Shut up, Monopoly Man!
Excuse me?
You heard me. I don't care about your stupid villain speech, nerd. I just want to kill you.
Now that the ritual was complete, the party only had a few rounds until the Shade clawed its way into this reality. So their plan changed. Previously, their goal had been to kill Alinar to stop his armies and save the world and stuff, but now they just needed to close the gateway and trap the Shade in the Eldrite Dimension far away from their world. The party's luck began to turn around at this point, and after another turn, Edith dropped. There was an opening. With only 1 round remaining until the Shade was summoned, Circle sprinted up to Alinar and plunged the stake deep into his heart. Alinar screamed in rage as an Eldrite coffin appeared around him and it dropped to the ground. At the same time, Thok and the Spellseer both immediately collapsed dead, and in the distance the party could hear the portal beginning to close.
Nice work. Now we've got to get out of here before...
Appearing at the far end of the room was a tall, thin, shadowy figure in a blue cloak.
Go on. I'll hold it off while you run to the portal.
No, both of us will hold it off. No, I'm not losing another party.
You're not dying here either.
You can't make me leave. We'll fight this thing together.
I'm sorry, my lord, but this isn't a battle we can win this time. Barashk, make sure he gets back to his kingdom in one piece.
Of course. Jay, you're coming with me.
Barashk grabbed Jay and dragged him out of the throne room as Cyrsil and Plunk faced off against the Shade. They weren't able to hold it off for long, but it was just enough for Barashk and Jay to flee the mansion and make their way to the portal. They arrived at the gateway, and as they went through, it closed behind them, trapping Alinar's coffin, his armies, the Shade, and the rest of the party behind in the Eldrite Dimension. In the years following, Jay ruled over the island with Barashk by his side. They built statues in the throne room of their dead comrades, and they worked to rebuild after the war, with goals of one day managing to find a way off the island and to communicate with the wider world once more. Meanwhile, the Shade, even while trapped in the Eldrite Dimension, schemed of a way to return. It hunted for a way to claw its way out of its prison, and after many, many years it found something. A slipgate that would take the Shade somewhere that even it didn't know about. But that's a story for another day, which I'll begin animating very soon in my next big campaign series titled The Slipgate. So don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss that when it gets uploaded. Also, I'll be doing a Q&A about the Island series, so feel free to throw some questions down in the comments below. If there's anything you want to know about either the series or the campaign, or honestly just general RPG questions too, if you have any. Either way, I'll see you in the next video.